After the Warriors in Houston tip at 3:30 Eastern, it's the Celtics and Hawks at 7 Eastern in Atlanta. Hawks won the season series 3-1 in the nightcap. The 6 seed, the Mavs, take on the 3 seed, the Thunder. OKC swept all 4 meetings. You can see playoff hockey on the NBC family of networks. 4 Game 2s featuring the Rangers and Penguins, Flyers and Caps, Stars and the Wild, Sharks and the Kings. New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, and San Jose all took Game 1 in those matchups. Just one game going on in baseball right now. Mariners and Yankees scoreless in the top of the third in the Bronx. This is NBC Sports Radio.
Lifestyles Unlimited is the real estate investor education and mentoring group that has taken people by the hand and taught them how to invest in real estate for over 24 years. Our students have been so successful at creating wealth and passive income that they've won local, state, and National Investor of the Year awards 9 of the last 9 years. It's easy to see why Personal Real Estate Investor magazine named us the best in the U.S. If you're ready to add real estate to your portfolio, go to getmymapnow.com to access our free live training event schedule.
Wondering who the free workshop is for? We've been amazingly successful with people who are pressed for time. Doctors, lawyers, small business owners, and corporate professionals who are grinding their lives away for earned income and don't realize they can start creating passive income today within the confines of their schedules and commitments. Want to get started now? Go to mypassiveincomeworkshop.com. That's mypassiveincomeworkshop.com.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi. There's a wind advisory in effect until 11 a.m. For this morning, a clear sky with a bit of a breeze, sunny with less wind this afternoon, high 82. A mainly clear night for tonight, low 56. Sunday's going to be sunny, high 86. Mainly clear Sunday night, low 56. Monday, a sunny day with a high of 88. Tuesday, sunny, temperatures near 90. Wednesday, sunshine, high 86. Sunny Thursday, high 84. That's your weather forecast for this hour from KCAA, 106.5 FM and 1050 AM. The station that leave no listener behind.
Join me, Stephanie Miller, every weekday for the antidote to cantankerous conservatives. And if they don't like it, too bad. It's on KCAA.
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8.
1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
What have I learned so far? I've learned that dropping out of high school was my decision. But as a single mom, that decision affected more than just me. To set an example, I had to be the example. I found a free high school diploma program at Learn for Life that fits around my busy life. I have a team of teachers, tutors, and counselors that really care. I learn at my pace in an environment that is safe and comfortable. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I can change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
You just entered the Gotcha Zone. Eilon up to the start line and get ready to race with your host, Joe Britt. It's time for Gotcha Racing, live on KCAA 1050.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines and get ready for an action-packed, fun-filled hour of everything a motorhead ever loved or lived. Gotcha Racing with Joe Britt. Welcome to Gotcha Racing. This is Joe Britt. Hey there, race fans, and welcome to another edition of Gotcha Racing Live with your host, who? Yeah, me, Joe Britt, at the helm in San Bernardino, California, at the world-famous KCAA talk radio station in the city of our great San Bernardino, and that's in Southern California. Welcome aboard, fans. I truly mean that. Welcome aboard. I know you have a lot of other things to do on a Saturday afternoon, but guess what? You're tuned in to hear one of the greatest shows on Saturday morning. So thank you very much for tuning in. So let me digress a little bit and come to you with my open like I do every doggone Saturday. Hey, I come to you a humble man that is a reflection of God's grace and greatness, a humble man that is standing on shoulders of ancestors. Hello, America. Look alive, California. Wake up, San Bernardino. Stand up and be counted. Inland Empire. For some reason, that didn't come out right. Let me say that again. Stand up and be counted, Inland Empire. This is your host, Joe Britt, coming to you loud, clear, and strong from the desert to the sea, broadcasting on the powerful KCAA Radio 1050 AM and also 106.5 FM and soon to be 102.3 FM. Hey, we got you coming and going, guys. We got you coming and going. You got to be under a freaking rock, somewhere lost in space somewhere, in another galaxy, not to hear our powerful station in the IE. Really, under a rock somewhere. But, nevertheless, I shall continue. We're having great weather today. Well, you know, it's got to be in the 70s or something. It's really nice outside. For those of you that are suntanning, you know, it's every 12 minutes or so. You got to flip over and roast the other side and flip over and roast the other side like a weenie. But the wind outside, I tell you, man, you almost need to hang on to something because that wind is blowing very, very hard outside. But it's great. It clears the weather up. I don't see any smog anywhere. And I tell you, where was that yesterday? I was doing some maintenance in Kcaa at our FM transmitter up there, and my goodness, you know, the wind was blowing, and I swear I saw Catalina. It's that great outside, and I love those days when you can actually see what Southern California is all about. And so when we say from the desert to the sea, you know what? I think I got a glimpse of that yesterday, and with the high winds we do have here in Southern California. I guess they call those El Nino or something, you know. But nevertheless, okay, you race fans, I always got to do this because we never know. It could be new listeners out of our vast listeners out there that just tuned in today, you know. If you're calling and if you wanna listen to our show, and let's say you're under that rock, let's say you're in a tunnel somewhere, let's say you just cannot hear us on 1050 AM or 106.5. Hey, there's a way to listen to us via your smartphone or your dumb phone or your house phone. That number is 832-999-1050. 832-999-1050. You want to call into the studio and talk to me or talk to one of our guests, or just, I'm not going to say rant and rave, but give us some information about what's going on in the community, racing community. Our studio number is long distance. It's 888-909-1050. 888-909-1050. For you local callers that are floating around in the IE, that number is 909-888-5222. 909-888-5222 or 5224 or 5224. Had to put my studio voice on, okay? Now, you want to see what we've done previously on a podcast? You can do that by going to our great website, which is kcaaradio.com. Go to the podcast section, check out Saturday's lineup, and you will see Gotcha Racing Live, me looking, you know, really cool in a suit and with my Ray-Ban glasses on, looking on debonair and whatnot, and you can pick and choose. Get one that you like. Or you can go to britarchive.com. and do the same. We can be found on Facebook, sure we can, on Gotcha Racing and Gotcha Racing Live. We also have a website, Gotcha Racing TV or GotchaRacing.com. Okay, you want to email me something? Let me know what's going on. Put your bag on for some of the swag that we do have from time to time. You could go to jbritt, BRITT, .kcaa@gmail.com and put your bag on and see what I can get you, you know. For you Gotcha Racing TV fans, well, Gotcha Racing TV is one of our sister companies, and we do shoot in HD. We've been doing that since '04. We've got some of the greatest guys when they're in their prime. Well, I should say in their prime. I should say when they were babies, just starting out in the industry. And now there's some of your big time heroes out there, either drag racing or they are drifting. Anyway, we got them all when they were pups, and I'm happy that we were able to do that with Gotcha Racing TV. We have a great lineup today, folks. Great lineup today. We have the world's famous, legendary Tom McEwen, the Mongoose McEwen. So we'll be talking to him in about 45 minutes or so. And I tell you, this guy has a vast history, man, a 45-year career. And this is no joke. You know those, for some of you that might even have his Hot Wheels. And he started that whole program with Mattel. So great information. And I hope I can get some enough information to let you know who this guy is. But, man, before he comes on, look him up. Just put in Tom the Mongoose McEwen and see what he has to offer. I mean, it's going to be a whole lot. Okay, so tomorrow. I am so excited for tomorrow. I can't wait till it comes. It's like a kid on Christmas, right? I'll be at the Long Beach Grand Prix with my photographer that does my photography work for Gotcha Racing TV. And I tell you, man, we got blessed. We got blessed to get tickets. So, and we got blessed to get tickets from one of our guys who work here. Okay? The morning show, it comes on at 8 o'clock every day. Kcaa. Gary Garver. He donated some tickets to us and said, "Hey, Joe, here you go." Control Chaos. That's the name of the show. So it says that is at 8 o'clock, right? A.M.? Yeah, Control Chaos. So Gary Garver. And I guess Gary wants me to call in Monday morning and give him an overview of what we have seen and what we experienced tomorrow from the Long Beach Grand Prix. I'm really excited about this. So that's Monday morning on Control Chaos at 8 o'clock. So don't know when he'll squeeze me in, but nevertheless, hopefully I can give him a good 5 to 10 minutes of vital information that would be entertaining for the listeners. Okie doke. You know what? We have our guy calling in, and I'm going to introduce, not right now, he'll be calling in the next 4 minutes or so, and he is our correspondent for engine building. I know you guys were interested. I met him about 4 months ago at a car show, and young cat out of the San Diego area. Really smart in what he does and really talented. Last week when we were live, he was at the drifting event in Long Beach, where the Long Beach Grand Prix is. Well, they have a section where they cut out, and they do drifting. So he was there, and I tell you, we were so packed with people calling in last week, and the little interviews that we had, I only could give him about 3 minutes worth of time. So today, hopefully I can give him a little bit more. We can talk about we will be talking about his history. We will be talking about the drift event he went to in Long Beach. So yeah, we got an action-packed show for you today. So if you can remember, guys, I went to the NHRA Winter Nationals, and I have a ton of interviews that I got from these guys. We were able to get into the media credentials by way of the vice president, Terry, and I was able to talk to some world champions. So without further ado, and we've been trying to get time. I swear. Let me tell you something, guys. Before we get into this interview, when I first started this gig, I'm looking at this clock in front of me. That doggone hand would never spin. I swear it stayed in one position for the whole hour. We only have an hour show, but I tell you, that sucker would never spin, and it seemed like 2 and 3 hours. Now, I tell you, man, I don't have enough time. I swear I don't have enough time, and I'm trying to squeeze all this stuff in with the commercials and whatnot. I need a 2-hour show. So I can put everybody on blast and we can have a good time. But nevertheless, we're going to do it with what we have, okay? So without further ado, Mr. Anton Brown. He is the defending top few world champion. So, JP, let's go ahead and put this interview on. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, folks, this is Joe Britt, and we're at the Winter Nationals in Pomona. I come across a champion, a name that I know you guys know. Antoine, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just back here in Pomona with the sunny weather, ready to kick off this exciting 2016 Mellow Yellow NHRA series. Man, I tell you what, this off season felt long, but But now it's here, man. Like everything was a rush, man, from testing in Phoenix to coming here today at Media Day, just getting ready to go out here on this racetrack this weekend for the first time for 2016.
So wearing that helmet that says champion, how's that feel, man?
I tell you one thing is that you never think about stuff like that too much when you go out there, but it's a great deal to look back on and realize that you made another little piece of history by being a champion, you know, for the whole team as a whole through all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. But now we're ready to get back after it again and come out here and defend it. That's the goal, is to come out here and to suit back up, go back to gladiator mode and try to stay at the top of that hill. Is hard because the competition hasn't slept. You know what I mean? They're coming out here, they're ready to go out here and go to work. And hopefully we put the work that we need to put in to come out here and contend. And we just want to compete for another championship. And that's our main focus, to compete and be here at the end, to have a chance to bring it home again.
You know what, man? When you're on that starting line and that Christmas tree comes down, what kind of focus, what kind of zone are you in, dude?
Oh, well, we're in that zone when you go out there, you're in that warrior mode. You know what I mean? You're in that mode that when you go up to that line, everything it's so much focus that you can hear a pin drop and you can see the sparkle that the sun sprinkles off of it. You know what I mean? You get in that zone where everything that used to be fast is very, very slow.
So time does slow down for you then, huh?
Absolutely. And it's just like a marksman shooting a gun. When he's taking that last exhale out before he pulls that trigger. That's what us as drivers do out there, day in and day out when we step on that throttle, that gas pedal, that 10,000 horsepower. You got to go in that zone. If you don't, and you slip up just that little bit, you're left behind.
Wow, you know what? That's the voice of a true champion, you know? And I know you're standing on shoulders of ancestors, man, but I'm so proud of you, man. I just don't know what to tell you, brother. I'm really proud of you, man.
I appreciate that. And the thing about it is, one thing that we do is, one thing I always do, you never take one day for granted. Is the next time you wake up, you open your eyes the next morning, you put yourself to work, and that's what I do. I don't take it for granted, and we put the work in, and hopefully the work shows off in 2016 like it did for 2015, and we go out there and we can go out here and defend this championship, which is going to be a hard feat to do.
So, last word. For any of the youngsters that's coming up, the young guns that are coming up, what kind of inspiration, of word of encouragement can you give them coming from a true champion?
Only thing that I can tell the youth of tomorrow, that they're our next generation, is to never settle. That's one thing that I can tell them from my personal experience, is that every goal that they have in life is there. It's their opportunity to take it, but prepare for it. And when the opportunity comes, go get it. And you're going to stumble and trip along the way, but don't be afraid to do that. And once you do that, learn from it. It's only going to make you better and stronger. And that's what got me to where I'm at today. Is not that I just woke up and it happened. Is that I made it happen.
But you put the work in.
Absolutely. You got to put the work in and learn from your mistakes. That's the key element, is learning. Is learn from your mistakes. Never take one day for granted, and give it all you have each day, and always make a step towards your goal. Don't step away from it, because when you step away from it is when you're stumbling. Go towards that flame. It'll be hot at first, but once you get under control, you'll stop sweating, and that dream will become a reality.
And if you fall down?
You fall down, just get right back up.
That's right. Okay, enjoy your season, man. I'm happy to have you in front of the Kcaa Racing mic. I'm really happy. I've been wanting to get this. I've been trying to reach out and touch somebody that you know. But now I got you on here. Thank you very much. Any shout outs for anybody?
No. It's blessed to be on. Hopefully we get to see everybody out here in our NHRA Mel Yellow Series this year. Come to a race, because every race is every ticket and every race, you're in the pits and you're a part of it, and you will feel it.
Thank you. Have a good day, man.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, folks, we're back in the driver's seat at the powerful Kcaa radio station here in San Bernardino, California, and we broadcast off our two stations, 106.5 FM and also 102 is coming up, but 106.5 FM and also 1050 AM currently. We will be adding a third station, which will be 102.3. coming in pretty soon. So we have our correspondent on the line, but before we get to him, Alex, I need you to hold the line for a minute, Alex. We got to put some commercials in so we can pay for some of this stuff that we do have. So line them up, Joe. Let's rock and roll, dude. We'll be right back on the Gotcha Racing Live program. And you're talking with Joe Britt. Right back, folks.
Oh, no.
Don't worry about a thing, pretty lady. You're in good hands with J&K Auto Body Paint and Repair. J&K Auto Body has been serving the Rialto area for years and are considered to be one of the oldest and the best auto body shops in town. The right people with the right tools and the right experience that can give you the service and the quality that you expect. 24 hours, 7-day-a-week towing is available. That's J&K Auto Body, 241 South Palm Avenue, Rialto, California, across the street from the Metrolink station. Call us at 909-875-0400, 909-875-0400. That's 909-875-0400.
U&I Auto Truck Parts and Wrecking is loaded with 15 acres of used, salvaged, and rebuilt parts for your car or truck. Sure, you could go to any wrecking yard, but U&I has what it takes. Expertise, high-quality products, and the finest customer service you'll receive anywhere. U&I makes custom drive shafts, furnishes full warranties on all their parts, and keeps up on industry changes. Call 909-888-6841. You'll be impressed by the fast and friendly response from the U&I skilled staff. You can also go to the Contact Us page and request a part. U&I hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 till 5, and Saturday, 8 till 3. U&I Auto Truck Parts and Wrecking is located at 1435 West Rialto Avenue in San Bernardino. Check out the U&I webpage at the letter U, the letter I, autoparts.com, or call 909-888-6841. 909-888-6841.
Gotcha Racing Live, heard only on Kcaa 8, is your command center for racing news, the hottest interviews, and DIY projects. We are your destination for interviews with racers and fans, on-track interviews, in-shop interviews with engine builders, car restorers. Hear from our correspondents on live track car shows. Gotcha Racing Live. Start your engine and race on over to Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM every Saturday at our new time, 11 AM. Gotcha Racing Live, where we put you in the driver's seat.
Sie hören jetzt Gotcha Racing live mit Ihrem Gastgeber Joe Britt. شما در حال گوش دادن به برنامه Gotcha Racing هستی با صدای جو بریت.
You're listening to Gotcha Racing live on KCAA 1050 AM with Joe Britt. Now get to the chopper. Hasta la vista, baby.
Baby! Yeah, you got it right. You got the right station. You got the right guy at the mic. And you're listening to the right show on a Saturday morning. So, welcome back, fans. Welcome to Gotcha Racing Live with your host, me, Joe Britt. We have a new guy. One of our new correspondents that are calling in. So, without further ado, folks, audience out there in our listening land of the land of KCAA, I want to welcome, and that applause is for our new correspondent. Alex, how you doing, buddy?
Great.
That's great. That's great. You know what? I'm glad that you are one of our correspondents. I know you have a vast knowledge of car racing and a vast knowledge of engine building. So without further ado, let's get right into a little history of you, Alex. How long have you been building motors?
Well, I've been doing it most of my adult life, and up until 3 years ago, I attended the school in Houston, Texas, the School of Automotive Machinists, where I learned how to properly machine and build an engine to a full race spec engine. And depending on the application, I can build it.
No kidding, no kidding. So, if anybody brings you a piece of crap and enough pocket change, you can make them a monster?
Yes, I can. Depending on the platform and what the aftermarket and what part manufacturers offer for internals and everything. It really comes down to that, and really above all, the cylinder heads. Whatever the application and engine, if the cylinder heads are amazing in design and potential, then the potential there for going from mild to wild is easily obtainable. Whereas if it was like an old FE Ford, it's sort of hard on those production heads, but there are aftermarket aluminum castings that provide a great platform to actually use that engine platform than if you were to use just the stock motor, stock castings.
No kidding. So what would you prefer to work on? An older model Detroit steel motor or the newer aluminum cast engines?
I think I'm more of a small displacement kind of guy, even though that I like the V8s and the big inch V8s. The small displacement motors, like for instance, in a production car, Mercedes-Benz has the CLS 45 AMG. It's a 2-liter, and for 2016 and 2017, the model year, they're putting out 375 horsepower out of a 2-liter 4-cylinder.
So, you know what? When I met you on a Saturday. On a Saturday afternoon, and it was in Irvine. And you, at that time, you had a Fiat. And I swear, when I heard what you did to it, I labeled you Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein. Tell me what you did to that Fiat.
Well, for my personal daily driver, I've got a 2013 Fiat 500 Turbo. And I've recently, not recently, in the past year, I've upgraded the turbo to a Comp Turbo modified factory turbo. So Comp Turbo in Pomona, California took it, and they put a larger billet compressor wheel, machined the compressor housing, then they put their patented triplex ball bearings in the center section, and then for the turbine, they machined it for a larger turbine wheel, and then they assemble it, and they test it before they assemble it for balance and concentricity and everything, so that when it's spooling up to 100,000 RPM, it's not going to fall apart or come unbalanced and destroy itself. And it went from a 46 millimeter compressor wheel and 17 millimeter turbine wheel to a 50 millimeter compressor wheel and a 17 millimeter turbine wheel.
Well, tell me something. Is that car still running? Your personal Fiat, is it still running?
Yeah. I drive it every day.
Okay, so you haven't blown it up yet then, huh?
Nope.
Okay. Well, tell me this. Let's say I have a 4-cylinder, and I wanted to put, I'm not sure which way to go on it. Either I'll go with a turbo system setup, or maybe I'm entertaining going to a supercharged system setup. What exactly? Now, I'm not gonna. I don't want to blindside you on this, but I gotta know what you know. What would you do as far as a setup on that head?
What manufacturer of 4-cylinder?
Well, let's say Japanese. Let's say Honda.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Japanese Honda. A Honda 4-cylinder.
Oh, Honda 4-cylinder?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great platform. Honda motors are amazing. Both naturally aspirated and turbocharged and supercharged. So really, it's all down to your budget. If you want to go crazy, you can make 600 plus horsepower with a turbocharged setup, 400, 500 horsepower on a supercharged setup. And then you can do the same with naturally aspirated, but you get to a certain point on the naturally aspirated side that it's not streetable. You can make around 650 horsepower at the crank with a 2.7 liter Honda K series.
You know, I guess I should have qualified that statement a little bit more. Depending on what you want to do with that car, if you are going to go flat bone out racing at the track, and you have a little bit more pocket change than the normal Honda driver, well, let's say you got sponsored. Let's say you're going to drop $10,000 in this particular vehicle, and you're going to run. You got sponsors backing you up. Which way would you lean to in order to get the maximum torque and the maximum horsepower out of that Honda motor for racing?
I would do a turbocharged application. You would be able to make as much as 1,200 horsepower and have like 800 foot-pounds of torque out of 2 liters or even a 2.7 liter four-cylinder, and be able to run sevens. I think the fastest turbocharged Honda right now is in the sevens, high sevens.
No kidding.
In the quarter mile.
A 4-cylinder. No kidding. Wow. And with that, I know that knowing how the race cars are, that's probably it would have to be a tube chassis. I can't see just a spit 'em out cookie cutter chassis doing sevens, even with a powerful motor. It has to be a tube chassis on that, and maybe a fiberglass body or something to get that. Am I going in the right direction on this?
Yeah, the chassis on some of those cars are actually production car unibodies, and then they put carbon fiber front ends, carbon fiber doors, carbon fiber hatches or trunks, even body panels. They've replaced like the rear fenders and the roof with carbon fiber to cut down on weight.
No kidding.
And that's what most of everybody that runs drag Honda, and even the road race Hondas, like here the TLX that's racing and the Pirelli World Challenge, it has pretty much all carbon fiber body.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, you know, I'm glad to have you as one of our correspondents, and I tell you, man, we will be talking to you a lot. Now, because we have a lot of race fans out there, and that would like to put their unit together, and so now that we have an expert on the line with the family of Gotcha Racing Live, this is going to be great to have you come on every other week. Tell me this, man. Now, you were at the Long Beach Grand Prix, well, the area Long Beach Grand Prix last weekend for drifting. How'd that work out?
The Formula Drift event last weekend was great. By the tail end of the day, it cleared up, and they really got to be able to really push the cars. And it was a great turnout. I thought it was going to be an interesting day with a lot of crashes and a lot of holdups for all the cleanup, but it ended up being a pretty clear day, and then right at the end of the day, it started raining again.
Wow. So they really couldn't put on the show that they usually put on then, huh?
Yes, they sure did put a great show on at the end of the day.
No kidding. So would you say it was worth the price of admission?
I'm sorry?
I said, can you say it was worth the price of admission?
Yeah, it definitely was. Well, no matter what, it's definitely worth every penny to see that sort of motorsport.
Okay. So at the end of the day, who came out ahead?
Chelsea DeFoa, he runs a E46 M3 single turbo. I think it makes around 900 wheel horsepower. He took first place.
No kidding. So with the guys with the big V8s, they didn't. Wow. I'm because I thought the Camaros are in and the Mustangs are in with the big V8s, and you're telling me a BMW, a M3 Series came in first. No kidding. I wonder why was that. I wonder why. Skill or setup or what? What do you think?
Well, it's scored on multiple areas. It's scored on technique, synchronicity with the lead car, and if you're the lead car, your line and how you approach certain curves, and then also they have proximity sensors along the wall, so they score on how close you can get to the wall.
Yeah, the last couple of races that I've gone to, and it's been about a couple of years or so ago, I've seen some hit that wall and the whole rear end just rips off. They've gotten that close, so I like drifting. Actually, I like controlled chaos at 80 miles an hour or so into that curve. And the thing I kind of regret is not about the industry, but that we're losing Ontario, man. Not Ontario, but the House of Drift, which is my goodness, I can't even remember where that was now, where it is. The 210 and in Azusa. What is that track called over there? The House of Drift. Oh man, my memory's gone. But anyhow, they're going to turn that track into a bunch of condos, and I'm upset about that because now it's limiting the choices that our drift drivers can either practice or learn how to. You know, we have the small Adams track, but that's if you've seen that, it's very small. I mean, it's okay, but it's a learner's track for guys just starting out. So I don't know what's going to happen to drifting in the next 3 or 4 years as far as people learning how to drive and just putting on great performances, man. Anyhow, I'm glad that you were there. I'm glad you had a chance to call in. You know, we were so jam-packed last Saturday. I can only give you about 2 minutes or so. But now that I've had you on and people have gotten to know who you are, Alex, and what you're all about, dude, I can't wait to hear from you later down the road. So more than likely, when you get ready to go to, maybe we can send you out to some racetracks and let you do what you do best, interview people and get into the pits and talk shop, and then we can put that to the viewers and let them hear how you're out there doing your thing. How about that?
All right. That sounds like
a plan.
Sounds great.
Okay, buddy. Well, you know what, man? Have a great Saturday afternoon, and we shall talk again pretty soon. I'll give you a call in between now and I guess the next show, and we can sit down and hash it out and give you a point of action and which way to go. Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
Thank you, man. We're going to go to a commercial break.
You're welcome.
All right, okay, Alex, take care. Have a good day. We're going to go to a small commercial break, and then we're going to call into our race car driver, Tom McCurran, the Mongoose, and talk shop for half a second. Okay, right back.
Oh, no.
Don't worry about a thing, pretty lady. You're in good hands with J&K Auto Body Paint and Repair. J&K Auto Body has been serving the Rialto area for years and are considered to be one of the oldest and the best auto body shops in town. The right people with the right tools and the right experience that can give you the service and the quality that you expect. 24 hours, 7-day-a-week towing is available. That's J&K Auto Body, 241 South Palm Avenue, Rialto, California, across the street from the Metrolink station. Call us at 909-875-0400, 909-875-0400. That's 909-875-0400.
U&I Auto Truck Parts and Wrecking is loaded with 15 acres of used, salvaged, and rebuilt parts for your car or truck. Sure, you could go to any wrecking yard, but U&I has what it takes. Expertise, high-quality products, and the finest customer service you'll receive anywhere. U&I makes custom drive shafts, furnishes full warranties on all their parts, and keeps up on industry changes. Call 909-888-6841. You'll be impressed by the fast and friendly response from the U&I skilled staff. You can also go to the Contact Us page and request a part. U&I hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 8 till 5, and Saturday, 8 till 3. U&I Auto Truck Parts and Wrecking is located at 1435 West Rialto Avenue in San Bernardino. Check out the U&I webpage at the letter U, the letter I, autoparts.com, or call 909-888-6841. 909-888-6841.
Gotcha Racing Live, heard only on Kcaa 8, is your command center for racing news, the hottest interviews, and DIY projects. We are your destination for interviews with racers and fans, on-track interviews, in-shop interviews with engine builders, car restorers. Hear from our correspondents on live track car shows. Gotcha Racing Live. Start your engine and race on over to Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM every Saturday at our new time, 11 a.m. Gotcha Racing Live, where we put you in the driver's seat.
Well, that sounds like my cue to start opening my mouth and start talking. Hey, folks, welcome back to Gotcha Racing Live with your host, me, Joe Britt, on a great Saturday morning. Like I said, the weather is not bad. It's kind of windy outside, but nevertheless, we are here in the command center at KCAA. Gotcha Racing Live, and let's see, we're on 106.5 FM and also 1050 AM. As I said earlier, folks, we have one of the legends on the line, one of the legends of drag racing. It's been around for a long time, and I know you know this guy's name. Once I mention it, you're going to say, holy crap, how did Joe get that guy on the show? But nevertheless, it's a good guy. And you know what? Before I let me get into it a little bit. I went on Wikipedia, and so they're saying he is the American drag racer who won the National Hot Rod Association U.S. Nationals during part of his 45-year career. He is listed as number 16 of 50 most significant drivers of the NHRA first 50 years. He has received the nickname of Mongoose in 1964 from the engine builder Ed Donovan. You know what? So without further ado, I have Tom the Mongoose McCurran on the line. Sir, how are you?
Very good, Joe. How you doing, man?
You know what, dude? I am so honored. And that's for you. I am so honored to have you on the show. I know you're traveling right now, so nevertheless, hopefully we can get you. We got you, and get some good information out before you go into a tunnel or something and we lose connection because you're on your cell phone. You have a very interesting career that goes way back. You started when?
I started in 1953. Where the Orange County John Wayne Airport is now, used to be the Santa Ana drag strip. And I took my mother's 53 Oldsmobile out there. First time I ever went to a drag strip, and liked it, and just started racing then, and I've driven everything that there is at the drags from 80 mile an hour to 300 miles an hour, and three-time AHRA world champion, six-time NHRA champion, mini world champion, speeds, records, all that. Snake and Mongoose movie was made 2 years ago, and it's out now on our life. It was fun to do and everything. I've just been really busy. Today I'm on my way to the Pomona Museum out in Pomona, where the NHRA Museum is. They're having a special Tommy Ivo, who is a legend, having an 80th birthday and roast for him today from noon till 4 with a lot of people, a lot of legends there. I'm on my way out there to kind of have some fun, see some people.
When you started back in the 50s, the price of admission to get involved with drag racing, it's not like it is today. So if you could compare it money-wise, what type of dough did you spend back in the day in order to get started?
Well, back in the 50s, you could build, you could build a race car dragster. They didn't have funny cars yet, but you could build a car for $1,000. You could go to a junkyard and buy in the early days, they were flatheads. And then the Oldsmobile had a V8. And then when Chevrolet came out in 55 with a V8, that made a big change. And then 56 Chrysler came out with that Hemi. And we used to go to the junkyard and just get engines from a junkyard and for $50 or something and put a carburetor on it or fuel in it or superchargers on them or whatever, go out and blow them up. So, nowadays it costs some of these guys that are racing now in NHRA, the dragsters and the funny cars, you've got these multi-millionaire owners in there like Coletta and Force and Schumacher and these guys that are, and they've got all these cars. And, when we ran, we had two guys, maybe a driver and his friend who would help work on the car. Now they got 15 or 20 crewmen working on these cars, and they use air tools to work on, which we never had. They've got onboard computers on them, which we never had. They run 2 magnetos, 16 spark plugs, and 120-gallon-a-minute fuel pumps on 500-inch supercharged motors. That's how they make 10,000 horsepower. So it's a big difference, Joe. Now.
Wow, that is so interesting to hear about how the times, and so you listeners out there, you're hearing it from a legend. You're hearing from a god in the industry. This guy has been around and he has a ton of stories, but we just don't have the time to get them all out today. But while we have him, we're going to get some great information out of you, Tom. Now, you know what? I grew up seeing you, man. I grew up watching Wide World of Sports on Channel 7, on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon, and I saw you race, dude. And I tell you, there was nothing more fascinating than to see you line up with Don Prudhomme, the Snake. You guys had a rival going on. It was always a snake and the mongoose going on, and come to read about it, you had something to do with that. You engineered that, huh? Am I correct?
Well, what happened was he came from the San Fernando Valley. I'm from Long Beach. And he was a tall, thin, 6-foot guy. And the guys called him Snake. I don't know. He says it's because of his lightning reflexes. But I don't know, how he got the nickname. That's what. But it wasn't, you didn't hear a lot about it. And when I was driving for Ed Donovan out of Inglewood, he had a machine shop there, and I was driving his field dragster. And back in the early 60s, and he was driving a Greer Black and Prudhomme dragster, and they had a lot of money, and he was a good driver, and they were practically unbeaten in Southern California. I think they won I think they won I don't know, 90 races or something, and lost 7, and I think those 7 were to me. And so Donovan one day at Pomona, when we beat him, Donovan was one of these guys that everyone a nickname with him, and he said, he's the Snake, you should be the mongoose, like Kipling's Jumble book, Ricky Tikki Tavi the mongoose. So I looked into that, and we had some pictures drawn of the snakes and kind of hopped them up and started having match races, and people liked it. And then 1969, I went to Mattel Hot Wheels and said, what about a sponsorship on these little cars with our name and the animals on there? And they liked it. And that started in 1970 for 3 years, and sold millions of Hot Wheel cars around the world. And we were the first ones to bring major sponsors into the sport of racing. So we helped that a lot, and it's been a lot of fun. And we're both retired now, but we still involved. I'm involved with Drag Racer magazine. I've been here for 20 years, and we're still having a good time, Joe.
That's great. You know, I believe I did have one of those. I had both actually when I was a kid, the Dragsters and the funny cars with the Hot Wheels. So, and my God, man, I wish I had them now. I don't know what happened to them. You know, here I'm 60 years old, and that was when I was back in the day. But I tell you, I could have swore I saw your car at SEMA a couple of years back. Maybe go back within the past 4 years. That was right in the hall. Was that you or was that Don?
Well, we've both had cars over there. I had 2 years ago, I had my red 57 Chevy in the Dan Chuck booth there.
Mm-hmm.
And, but we've both had our cars in a lot of places. I've got cars, he and I have cars in the Garlitz Museum in Florida. We have cars in the museum here, NHRA Museum here in Pomona. And he's got a car. We've got cars all over the place that people have collected. So that's nothing. But, you know, one thing I wanted to tell the people, so they can, if they don't know about drag racing and they come out and watch it, and they see that tremendous two of those cars going down the strip side by side. You know, you got 20,000 horsepower shaking the ground. You have to see it to believe it. They're running 500 feet per second like a bullet, and you really, you know, they go. You know how you advertise these new cars, and they run 0 to 60 in 4.95 seconds. These fuel dragsters run 0 to 60 in a half a second.
Wow.
So just imagine the force there.
Wow. So I tell you, the speed has, of course, increased from the time when you got started, even in your in your heyday, compared to what these guys are doing now. You know, we were at the Winter Nationals, and I tell you, I was in the stands right when they right where the Christmas tree lights were, and I had earphones on. You know, and I tell you, that vibration from those 10,000 or 11,000 horsepower motors, I got scared, man. I said, what if something blew, you know? But that's a lot of power, dude. I just...
No, you have to see it to believe it, Joe. You know, it's, you know, we used to run a quarter of a mile, and because of the safety and the distance and the speed, you know, 2 years ago they cut it to 1,000 feet. Everybody was complaining about it. But let me tell you, they're running faster now. They run 236 miles an hour, or excuse me, 336 miles an hour in 1,000 feet, faster than did a quarter of a mile. So the guys tuning these cars, especially now that the computers are on board, and there's tremendous amount of volume of fuel with all of the electrical and supercharger and the wings and all the aerodynamic stuff. These guys are pretty smart, so you really have to see it to believe it.
And I did, and I'm a believer. I am a believer. So, for the new guys that are coming out of school with the bug, what can you tell them? I mean, it's a new game right now, and how would you for them to get started in this game of racing, pro racing? What kind of advice would you give the new guy coming out?
Well, you know, you can go out and run a stock car. It doesn't have to be a high-dollar car. You can go out and they can race. They have all kinds of classes. They can start slow and come up. If they get into the more of the faster sportsman classes, they have schools. They have one, I think, at Fontana. There's one in Florida. There are schools that they can go, driving schools that you can actually go to. NASCAR has that too, but drag racing, and you can drive these dragsters up to 150 or 60 miles an hour. They teach you how to do it. And, you know, it's expensive now, but if you go out, you know, in the old days when we first ran, you know, when we had the Oldsmobiles and Chevrolets, you know, you can still go out and get you an old car and buy some hop-up parts on it and go out to the races with your buddies and not spend a lot of money and have fun. You just work your way up, and then eventually, if you come from money or you know someone that has a big company that can sponsor you, then you get some help. But you got to work your way up. I worked my way up from 70 miles an hour, drove every kind of car there is at the races. I was on the road for 45 years, and I've seen every, you know, I helped invent the parachutes. I helped invent the fire systems. I helped invent the stuff that you wear in the car. I helped invent the spoilers on the back. I brought a lot to the game, and then these guys today, you know, the first car I drove, Joe, was a 90-inch wheelbase, which is shorter than your passenger car, with a blown engine in the front at night with stuff blowing in your face, and it's and now they have 300-inch wheelbase dragsters.
Wow.
So it's like driving a Cadillac now. So it's come a long ways, but it's fun to watch and a lot of power. And if people like motorsports, they need to go. Bakersfield up there is, only a couple hours from us. They have 2 big races a year in March and in October. And when you go to those, Joe, it's like going back in time. It's like going back to Lions and Santa Ana, where they have the older cars and the older, people have been around a long time. It's a whole fun deal up there in March and October. And then you got Pomona here has 2 races every year, big ones. One's in 1st of February, one's in 1st of November. So the drag racers around here, Fontana has a strip. And Bakersfield, I think, runs every weekend. So does Fontana. So there's places for them to go.
I got so many questions for you, but I just don't have the doggone time. You know something? I wanted to ask you the difference. What you see now, is it reaction time, or is it horsepower to push these guys into the winner's circle?
Well, Joe, what I think, if you take the funny cars and the dragsters and the pro stocks now, they are so close on elapsed time and performance that a lot of it now is driver. You'll notice how some of them, the reaction time is, some of them are better than others. So, a lot of people don't understand how come this guy ran quicker and faster and he got beat, because he didn't leave the same time as the other guy. It's reaction time on the starting line now means a lot. So these kids can practice with these electronic little trees. You can practice all that. And then the more seat time, I used to run 125 races a year, and then that's 6 or 8 runs each time. So you get used to it. And, some people have an eye for it and they're real good. And some people, just like any other sport, some are not that good. But it's a fun thing. But, Joe, anytime I listen to your show on Saturdays, and I enjoy it. And anytime you want to give me a call, I'm around, and we can do some more of this stuff.
It would be a pleasure for me to reach out and touch you, and I appreciate the offer. And believe me, I will take you up on it. We're almost out of time now. You want to do a shout out? You can if you want, Tom.
No, I'm just all the fans out there that have supported drag racing, and the Lions drag strip, all the different tracks that we've run on over the years. We appreciate the support that they've been really good to me and my people, and it's I like it, and I want them to, it's on television now on Fox Sports 1 on the weekends. Now they're in Charlotte this weekend, and it'll be on TV tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. But if you've never seen it, if you think NASCAR and those other races are something, you need to see these dragsters run. You will not believe it.
Well, sir, thank you very much for giving us all the information. You are a god in the industry, and I'll say that loud and clear. Thank you. And you just heard it from the Mongoose McCurran, and he's on his way to a special event today. Enjoy your Saturday, Tom, and I will talk to you soon. Folks, you're listening.
Joe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Take care. You're listening to Joe Britt. We're almost off the air. Got Your Racing Live every Saturday at 11 o'clock, 106.5 and 10:50 a.m. on KCAA, the best station in the nation. Thank you. We're out.
You're listening to KCAA, Loma Linda, California. The best station in the nation.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
On the ice and on the hardwoods, that's where we're headed for playoffs. Kate Delaney, NBC Sports Radio. Let's jump to the NBA. Pacers 84, Raptors 80. This is with less than 5 to go. For Indiana, Paul George with 28 big points and 4 boards so far. Nice finish here.